Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to all of our witnesses for appearing before us today. Madame Brassard, I'd like to start with you. What is the name of the alleged IRGC official whose identity the IRB hid as reported on February 6, 2026?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I would like to know the name of the IRGC official that appeared before you and was reported in the Global News Report on February the 6th, 2026.
That does not ring a...
It's a Global News Report, and basically it says a suspected high-ranking Iranian official caught living in Canada appeared at his deportation hearing on Thursday of that week, and the IRB deemed it necessary to not divulge his name. We'd like to know his name.
I don't know his name.
You don't know his name.
I don't.
Your department was there. They're the ones.
Yeah, but I don't know the name of every single person who makes a claim.
This does not ring a bell with you?
Yeah, well, the case does. The name, I don't know.
You don't know that.
And the name is confidential.
Why?
Why is the IRB prioritizing the privacy, then, of an alleged member of a terrorist organization over the safety of Iranian Canadians?
You mentioned alleged.
Then why hide his name?
Well, if they... hypothetically...
Well, let me talk facts, not hypothetically. Okay. I represent a community of probably the region where the highest population of Iranian Canadians are living in Canada. That's the Richmond Hill area. And there are these folks out there that came into the country that should never have been allowed here in the first place, that are basically terrorizing people in the community. They should not be here in the first place. And it appears the IRB has taken a position to not disclose their names. Does the IRB grant the same level of anonymity to other terrorist organizations, say like ISIS or Al-Qaeda? Or is it just specific for the Iranian community?
The legislation provides, generally speaking, that when someone makes a refugee claim, that claim becomes in camera, and we have to protect the identity of refugee claimant in all the hearings that appear before us. So generally speaking, that could be the reason.
Okay, but do you not see the need to protect the community? The community needs to know who these people are walking amongst them.
We apply the law, sir, the way it is written right now.
Of the hundreds of thousands of pending asylum claims, how many belong to individuals with alleged ties to the IRGC?
Well, I don't have a number to give you right now.
So do we know how many are in the queue for deportation?
That would be a question for CBSA.
Well, the CBSA has located 26 that merit deportation hearings. Maybe I'll ask that question to Mr. Bush. How many are in the queue for deportation with ties to the IRGC?
I don't have the specific data on me, but I can take that away and try and get that data for you.
Okay. Could one of you answer why there has only been one deportation in almost 4 years?
I can't, like I said, I don't have the data in front of me, so it's hard to answer your question without the specific data on those cases.
So back to you, Ms. Broussard. Is it acceptable to you to just have like one person deported in 4 years from the list of people that you deem should be deported?
I have no comments to make on that. You'll understand that once we've made our decision, it is out of our hands what happens after.
The CBSA found Afshin Pernoun. They alleged this 50-year-old was not allowed in Canada because he was deemed a political asset. Yet the IRB said he did not exert significant influence and allowed him to stay. What is the threshold? What's the IRB's threshold for significant influence if a 22-year official in the Iranian regime does not meet it?
30 seconds.
It depends on the degree of involvement that official has in the decision-making of their government. And that is something framed very much so by the federal court, and that's what we apply.
Should regime backers promoting and executing IRGC business be allowed to stay in Canada, in your opinion?
We apply the legislation as it is, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Menegakis. Thank you, Madame Brassard.
Thank you, Chair. To Ms. Broussard, the law says under IRPA, right, Section 130 or 166, I believe, is that proceedings before your division must be made in public. Is that correct?
Not for the refugee claimants.
Actually, Section 166 does say that, right? Any division?
I don't have the act with me, but
I do, it does, okay? So the next thing is that the story my colleague mentioned said that before arriving in Canada, the Iranian citizen was a senior member of his government, according to the Border Services Agency, which asked your division or your board to order his expulsion. To Mr. Bush, would your agency have recommended deportation based on those grounds without significant evidence? Like, would you have told the IRB that he should be deported, this person should be deported, because he was a senior member of the Iranian government if you didn't have evidence to that effect? Would you have made that up?
So, thank you for your question. What I will tell you is the process of it all. So the officer.
I'm just, yes or no? Would you have evidence?
Yes.
Okay. So, Ms. Broussard, in what universe would you go against Section 130, 166 of the law, of your law, and withhold this person's identity from the public? Why would you do that?
Madam Chairperson, if I can just specify, actually, Section 166 of the law specifies that all proceedings before the Refugee Protection Division and Refugee Appeal Division are held in the absence of the public, so confidential. And any claim before the Immigration Division.
This is a deportation hearing, though, right?
Please.
Point of order, Madam
Chair.
Chair.
Point of order, sorry, Mr. Zuberi.
I'm just hoping to hear the full answer from the
I'm hoping
witness.
to use my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zuberi.
The time. Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, if I can just clarify for the Immigration Division, all proceedings before the Immigration Division are also held in the absence of the public if they involve a refugee claimant. So, or if the member orders a confidentiality order. So not
Okay,
all
so here we are.
issues
So this
are
person,
before the Immigration Division.
this member of the Iranian regime wanted his hearing in public or in private, and you guys granted it. Why? What possible interest would that serve the public, whose gyms are being shot up by these guys right now? Why would that serve the public's interest? Like, I mean, you're saying you don't even know who this person is, and now you can't tell us why this would be in the public interest to withhold his identity from reporters?
The legislation says that we withhold identity when the claimant, if the person makes a claim to refugee status.
Yes, why would you protect the identity of a senior Iranian government official in Canada on a deportation order requested by the CBSA? That's crazy.
Okay, well, that's your view. The way we present.
No, I think that's the public's view.
Okay.
I think that's logic. Is it not your view?
My view is we have to apply the legislation as it is.
No, you made a decision to hold this in private. Why?
Because it was the member's decision to look at the evidence.
You said you didn't even know who this guy was.
Point of order.
I don't
Chair.
need to know who the
Point of order,
claimant
Mr.
is.
Fredescaros.
Again, we're trying to hear the answer, and we cannot.
Okay, let's give time for Ms. Brassard to give her response, please.
Thank you. When the department comes and asks for somebody to
Okay, I've heard enough.
Okay.
The second thing,
No,
it's
Ms.
my time.
Gardner.
It's my time. The next thing I
okay.
would like to ask is this. Ms. Broussard, would a former director under Iran's Ministry of Roads and Urban Development, who was a 22-year civil servant with ties to the Iranian regime and described as a political asset of the regime, would they be considered a senior official under the law and be ordered to be deported?
depends on the nature of the evidence adduced.
Do you think
during
that
the
they
hearing.
should be considered a senior official?
It depends on the nature of the evidence. adduced
1
during
minute
the hearing.
left.
Mr. Bush, would it be easier for your department to deport Iranian officials, people with ties to the regime, if the law was changed to clarify that Non-citizens with ties to the regime would be deemed inadmissible if involved in regime-linked businesses, spreading propaganda, or human rights abuses. I'm thinking of cases like there was a guy that was the head of the Iranian state-funded newspaper, was the deputy political leader of the Friday Imams Policy-Making Council, the supreme leader's head of office in the UAE, and has not been deported. Would maybe changing the law make your job a little easier there, Bud?
I'll leave the questions of changing the law to Parliament, but in terms...
I'm trying to make a suggestion to change the law because it seems crazy to me that I'm arguing with the head of the IRB that we should be protecting the identity of a senior Iranian official when members of the Iranian diaspora communities are having their businesses shot up in Canada.
Thank you, Ms. Rempel-Garner. Thank you, Mr. Bush.